Hello everyone. So when we reach the advanced proficiency in Chinese, we want to have many different ways to describe objects and also to talk about how things would change, what they would look like after some changes happening. So in this video, we'll use the cooking video from Zhuang Zuyi to talk about how to describe things and describe their changed state. First, a more straightforward grammar with describing things is that we can add modifiers before a noun to form a noun phrase. These can be either adjectives before the noun or quantifiers with measure words before the noun to talk about how many of things. And also we can even talk about types of things or use analogy to talk about how things are like. So examples from the video, 小番茄 cherry tomatoes, little tomatoes. If it's bigger tomatoes, 大番茄. Different colors, 彩色的番茄 red tomatoes, 红色的番茄. Or raw tomatoes, 生番茄, anything you can think of. Then, 罗勒 basil, fresh basil, 新鲜罗勒. Or you can say 新鲜的罗勒. If it's not fresh, 不新鲜的罗勒. 不新鲜的罗勒. When you use 不新鲜, you have to use 的 because it's just unusual and it's less closely related to our typical thinking about basil. Number 3 is an example of using a quantifier and a measure word. Garlic. If you want to talk about the whole garlic instead of the cloves of garlic, we say 一整颗的大蒜. A whole stalk of garlic, a whole head of garlic, 一整颗的大蒜. Because it's something that we don't typically closely describe a garlic with, we use 的 to show this is actually a modifier. 一整颗的大蒜. Number 4, the whole chicken. 一整只鸡. 一整只鸡. Because chicken usually come in big pieces, like a whole chicken. So here, without 的, it's also fine. 一整只鸡 or 一整只的鸡. 3 chicken legs, 三只鸡腿. Measure word 只 both for the whole chicken and for the chicken leg, chicken size. 三只鸡腿. Number 6 is a different kind of modifier. Here we have modifiers that describing the types of things. For example, if you're talking about basil versus Thai basil would be 泰式的 Thai, Thailand, 是 type, 泰式的 Thai kind, 这种 this kind of 九层塔, that's the Thai basil, 泰式的这种九层塔. Number 7, different kind of modifier where we have adjective 碎碎的 pieces, crumbling things, 碎碎的, 像纸一样的 like paper, the kind of things, 像纸一样的. You can remember this 像什么什么一样的 as a chunk, 像苹果一样的 like apple, 像桃子一样的 like peaches. 碎碎的像纸一样的皮. So garlic has those crumbly outside layers that's looking like a paper. That's kind of skin. 碎碎的像纸一样的皮. So all these are different ways of modifying a noun, and the noun comes at the very end. You have 的 to link the modifier and the actual noun. Now let's look at another pattern. This is a typical Chinese grammar pattern where an adjective or a bunch of adjectives are used as predicate. So you know what the predicate is. It is the chunk that's working as the main verb of the sentence. So for example, from the videos, if something is really, really simple but also very delicious, 什么什么实在是简单又好吃. 又 is a conjunction to connect two adjectives. 简单 simple, 好吃 delicious. Something something 实在是简单又好吃. For example, bananas. 香蕉实在是简单又好吃. Number 2, 它的材料非常非常简单. 这个菜最方便. So its materials are super simple, and this dish is the most convenient. It has the same grammar pattern as before. We have the subject, like 它的材料, the material, or 这个菜, this dish. And then we have adjectives working as the content of the predicate. 非常简单, very simple. 最方便, very convenient. Number 3, similar pattern where we have the subject noun phrase followed by adjectives, a bunch of them as predicates, as the information we are focusing on. So for example, really the results are very good, very aromatic. 真的是效果很好，很香，非常香。很好，很香，非常香。All these are predicates to talk about the result, 效果。Number 4, something 又香又脆。You and you can connect the two adjectives even if they're one single syllable. 香 aromatic, 脆 crispy. So something 又香又脆. For example, if you like potato chips, you can say 薯片又香又脆. Or if you like roasted herb, roasted kale, 烤的蔬菜又香又脆. We have more examples just to show you how adjectives work as predicates to describe something. For example, if some meats are really lean, like 90% lean, 它特别的瘦, extremely thin, lean. 她特别的瘦. You can also use this to describe people. 她的男朋友, so her boyfriend, 特别的瘦, is very thin. And also in the video, something about certain parts of the chicken, very tender and tasty. 下面特别的嫩 tender, 特别的 extremely 特别的嫩。又入味 full of taste. Literally, 入味 means enter a flavor, so the flavor is all entered into the meat. 入味 but it's working as an adjectives. So 下面特别的嫩又入味又 a conjunction to connect several describing words. Number 3, 上面又特别脆. This is talking about the skin of the chicken. 上面 on the top, 又特别脆 very crispy. 都非常的好. All are very good. As you can see in this chunk of examples, we have the adjectives like 瘦 thin, lean, 嫩 tender, 脆 crispy, 好 good. And these adjectives can be further modified by something like 特别的 extremely, 特别的非常的 very. A third chunk of adjectives working as predicates, these have to do with 是什么什么, for example, the color is golden or the surface is crispy. How do we talk about these? So number 1, something 稍微粗一点. This is talking about the sea salt being a little bit greenier than usual, coarser than usual. 稍微 a little bit, 粗一点. Coarser a little bit. 手感 means the feel to the hand when you touch it. 比较好 relatively good. So the salt is relatively greenier and also feels good on the hand. Number 2, something 多油多筋. 多油 lots of fatty parts. 多筋 lots of tendon muscle parts. This is about chicken thighs is 多油多筋 compared to chicken breasts. Number 3, 颜色是金黄的. So here you should have maybe have known already that if you are describing something and you have 是 as the verb, the adjective needs to come with 的 kind of to that's just how the grammar goes. 颜色是金黄色的. So the color is golden yellow. 颜色是金黄色的. We cannot say 颜色是金黄色 as a description, unless you were kind of indicating the color. 颜色是金黄色, so the color comes out as golden yellow. Number 4, 表面是脆的. Again, we have a 是, therefore the adjective 脆 has to come with 的. 表面是脆的. So the surface is the crispy kind. 非常的脆, very crispy. Number 5, 里面呢 topic marker. So what about inside then? 是嫩的. Again, because of the use of 是 as the verb, we need to add 的 to the adjective. 是嫩的. So inside, it is actually very tender. 很嫩, very, very tender. So in both cases, number 4 and number 5, we see the use of 是, and then the adjective has to come with 的, and then the speaker, again, to further elaborate, to use 非常的脆, 很嫩. Now let's move on to another grammar pattern used to describe things. This is when the description, rather than before the verb, it comes after before the noun, it comes after a verb as complement. For example, if we want to say something, oh, smells so good, 香得不得了. It's so good, so fragrant, 香得不得了. Here, the actual description is 不得了, so unbearable. 得 marks the resultative complement. 香得不得了. Number 2, what if we want to say something taste salty or won't taste salty? We have the verb taste, 吃, and the result complement, 吃起来, then the actual description. 一点儿都不会太咸. So when it tastes, it won't be salty at all, even if you put a lot of salt in it. 吃起来一点儿都不会太咸. Number 3, what if you want to say something looks really delicious? If you see your friend eating lunch, and you can say, oh, 看上去很好吃. 看上去 look, upon looking, 很好吃. The actual description, very delicious. 看上去很好吃. Below, let's see an example of using descriptions to talk about how things will change. They all share this idea of using 会. So something, 会 will, prediction, will be in a certain state. Number 1, 颜色 color. 颜色会比较金黄, relatively golden, pretty golden in color. 比较均匀, pretty even. Yeah, so if once you keep roasting the chicken, the color will become pretty golden and pretty even. 颜色会比较金黄, 比较均匀. Number 2, and after a bit, the color will be even deeper. 待会儿, after a while, 颜色 color 会 will 更深一点, even deeper. So all these red words are descriptions of things. As you can see, you can describe things not only as before a noun, but also describe it as the predicate and also to indicate the changes. Now, let's look at describing things as using this adjective, a repetition of the same adjective, and de to emphasize the kind of appearance it has. It comes after the verb. For example, if you want to say you should put things very tightly together. Number 1, 摆得紧紧的. 摆 is the verb to display, to put. 的 to show, to mark is a grammar point to mark the actual state. 紧紧的 tightly together. 紧紧的. It's the same as 很紧. You can replace 紧紧的 with 很紧. 摆得很紧, 摆得很紧. The difference is that it doesn't have the kind of very immediate emphatic sense that 紧紧的 has. Number 2, if basil easily turns black after a while, 很容易就变得黑黑的. 变 change, the marks the result in an adjective repetition. 变得黑黑的. Or you can say 很容易就变得很黑. Number 3, if you're roasting something, it becomes very crispy. 烤得脆脆的. Roasting 烤的 marks the result. 脆脆的 the kind of description. 烤得脆脆的 or 烤得很脆. Number 4, 皮变得湿湿的. So if you put the tomato too close to the chicken, the skin of the chicken will not be crispy, will be very soggy. Soggy is 湿湿的. 皮变得 change, the marks the result. 湿湿的 description. 皮变得湿湿的 or 皮变得很湿. Number 5, what if we want to say we should pat the chicken dry? Pat 擦 to wipe. 要擦得干干的 to wipe it until it's very dry. 要擦得干干的 or 要擦得很干. Number 6, 烤得软软的. Roasting something until it's very soft. For example, if you're roasting a yam, roasting tomato, potato, chicken, 烤得软软的. 烤 roasting the verb, the marker for result, 软软的 the actual description, or 烤得很软. Number 7, something smells very fragrant. 闻起来香香的 smells very aromatic. 闻起来香香的 or 闻起来很香. So these are the grammar points to describe things. As you can see, depends on what you want. You can use different grammar patterns. These are not easy to do, so we want to make sure we consciously make use of them so they're part of our linguistic language repertoire. 谢谢大家，再见。